Hello, students. Today we're going to have some fun with section 1.4, ordered pairs and relations. Please remember to put your name and date on your guided notes. Our learning objectives, we're going to use ordered pairs to locate points, and we're going to use graphs to represent relations. And here's some vocabulary. A coordinate plane is used to locate points. An ordered pair of numbers is used to locate any point on a coordinate plane. The first number is called the x-coordinate, and the second number is called the y-coordinate. If you've ever played Battleship, this will be familiar, except instead of using letters and numbers, we use numbers for both directions. So let's look at this diagram and fill it in. The y-axis is the vertical number line, which means that the x-axis is the horizontal number line. The origin is the point 0, 0, and it's the point at which the number lines intersect. So where the x and y-axis intersect, that's the origin. The x corresponds to the number on the x-axis, so that 4, right here, that's the x-coordinate, and the y-coordinate corresponds to a number on the y-axis. And sometimes I see students put 2 points. They'll put a point here, and they'll put a point here, and they'll think that that's the answer. But that is actually incorrect because you have to put where those would intersect. So where the 4 and the 5 intersect, that is the point 4, 5. All right, let's go on to example 1. Graphing ordered pairs. So we're going to practice this. And for 1a, we have 2, 3. So where would that be? 2, 3. Step 1, we're going to start at the origin. The x-coordinate tells us to move right. So the x-coordinate is 2. I'm going to move to the right 2. And then the y-coordinate is 3. So I'm going to, for step 3, oh, I messed up these notes. Oh no, I'm going to fix these before I print them. To move up. I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to move to the right 2, and then we're going to move up 3 to right here, and that is 2, 3. All right, let's do B, 1B. The 0, so if we start at the origin, we're already at 0. The x-coordinate tells us to move right, but if we're going to move right 0, that means we don't move at all. Then the y-coordinate says that we're going to move up. We're going to move up 1.5. So up 1, and then in the center of 1 and 2 is 1.5. So that's 0, 1.5. Done. I want you to huddle up with the people in your group and do 1C and 1D. Let's flip our page. In example 2, we're asked to identify ordered pairs, and they tell us to write the ordered pair that matches each point or that names each point. I did not put all of them on your notes. So let's look at point A. Point A is right here. And so what we need is the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. So the x-coordinate is 6, and the y-coordinate is 8. So we write that as 6, 8. It is very important that you do not mix up the order of these. Let's do B. Find B. Here's B. So the x-coordinate is 5, and the y-coordinate is 1. So I'm going to write 5, 1. And then we'll find D. D is here. The x-coordinate is 6 again, and the y-coordinate is 6. So we have 6, 6. Do F, M, and U in your huddling up groups right now, please. And we have some more definitions. A set of ordered pairs such as 2, 3, 3, 5, 4, 1, and 5, 6 is a relation. A relation can also be shown in a table or a graph. The domain of the relation is the set of x coordinates. The range of the relation is the set of y coordinates. So these are definitions that you should practice, and when we write our summary, we will add something in about these definitions, these terms. Let's look at example 3. Express the relation 2, 4, 0, 3, 1, 4, 1, 1 as a table. Then determine the domain and range. All right, so the first number in an ordered pair is the x value, and the second number is the y value. So we write 2, 4 in the table as 2 and 4. All right, so let's fill that in for 0, 3, 0, 3, 1, 4, and 1, 1. Then determine the domain and range. So the domain we're gonna start with 0 because that's the smaller number. And then we'll put 1 and we'll put 2. Those are the x coordinates, and we do not have to do 1 twice. Actually, I think we do, and the reason why is because when we're talking about functions, which will be in more advanced classes, you need to see that the 1 repeats. That's a very important thing because it makes it not a function if it repeats in the domain. All right, that's for later classes. And then for the range, we'll start with the lowest number 1, and then we'll put 3, and we'll put 4, and 4 again. The range can repeat, and it'll still be a function, but if the domain has a repeating number, it is not a function, which you'll learn later in different classes in algebra. Here's a real-world application. 1 square mile is equal to 640 acres. For part A, they are asking us to make a table of ordered pairs in which the x-coordinate represents the number of square miles and the y-coordinate represents the number of acres for 1, 2, and 3 square miles. Okay, so we're going to use x and y, and I'm just going to put on my side over here that the x is square miles, and then the y is acres. All right, and they're telling us that we want to use 1, 2, and 3 for the square miles. For y, they told us that 1 square mile is equal to 640 acres. So I'm going to write 640 here. 1 mile equals 600, or 1 square mile equals 640 acres. I'm going to double that, 280, and I'm going to add, 1,280. I'm going to add 640 to that. And I get 1,920. Graph the ordered pairs, then describe the graph. So over here, we're going to draw a y-axis and an x-axis. Okay, and we're going to have 0, 0. And in the x-axis, we're counting by ones. 1, 2, 3. And that we're going to label as square miles. Then on the other side, the y-axis, we'll count by 640 because we can do that. We're allowed, as long as it's to scale. But we're going up by 640 each time. And then we will graph our points. So 1 comma 640 and 2 1,280 and 3 is 1,920. And we could connect these dots because even if I have a partial mile, then I could have that much, I could multiply like 0.5 if it was half a mile, square mile. If I multiplied 0.5 times 640 acres, I would get this point here, right? And so we could connect these as a straight line. Okay? And then it says to describe that. So I don't know why they ask us to describe it, because the story described it for us, but this line represents square miles to acres. And then we're finished. And we will write a summary together as a class.